Welcome to the Friends and Rivals podcast.
Going to be a few minutes late, currently on the can.
What kind of excuse is that? I've got COVID. Who's giving you that excuse?
Dorito.
On the can. On the can, my ass. Right? Get it.
Let's talk Devils and Islanders. Let's talk Penguins and Rangers. But let's not talk about Flyers, because they're a bunch of fucks, which no one can deny.
Season 3 premiere, episode 82 of the Friends and Rivals podcast. Don't try it till you had it. I am one of your hosts, Tom Harkness. Joining me each week are...
Happy to be co-host of the number 235 rated podcast, Stephen Wojtowicz.
COVID boy, Bill Fuchsia.
Not on the can, Nick Larita.
Again,
Miraculously not on the can.
24 hours
Thank
in
God.
a day, and you picked 5 minutes before we record to shit.
Hey, I didn't choose it. It chose me.
That is true. That is very, very true.
He didn't choose the poop life. The poof life chose him.
My printer behind me just is either printing.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, yeah, look at that.
I didn't even.
Is it a trade? Maybe it's a trade coming in through the fax.
I don't know. It's a blank
Oh,
page.
shit. Tom, get out of the fucking house.
Oh my God.
That is a message from Casper the Friendly Ghost. He ain't
Is
going
this
to be friendly
Poltergeist?
no more.
Oh my goodness.
His house is beautiful.
Yeah, that or yeah.
Too
Too
bad
bad
we
we
can't
gotta
say.
leave.
Oh my God. I mean, literally, there's nothing else. Dude, that was.
Maybe somebody else is trying to print something like a
something
polar
blank.
bear in a snowstorm or something.
What?
No, nobody.
A
Polar bear
what?
in a snowstorm? No,
No.
don't get it.
Because it was
Wow,
a blank
well,
page.
Well, listen, it feels like forever since we've last done this. I mean, what was going on in the world back then? What did you guys do on your summer vacations? Anything good? Any good stories? Come on, give me a good one.
I got
Good.
the COVID. I've had arthritis in my back, arthritis in my knees. I've gotten very old.
Jesus
Very
Christ!
quick.
How old are you?
Bill is the only person that can have a smartphone or a smart computer and just have the blurriest fucking picture ever. Look at how blurry that is.
Oh, I think it's,
Why
it's
is
on a
it so
computer.
I'm on my work computer.
Yeah, it's on a
Oh my
computer.
God. What
I'm
is
not a
it?
technology company.
The first Microsoft laptop ever?
No, listen. In his defense, he's connected to Cablevision Wi-Fi.
That is true.
That's true too.
I think we got to cut him some slack. Well,
I don't know.
you know what I was busy doing this summer? I was busy becoming a golf champion.
Oh, hey.
That's
Me-
right.
Me too.
That's right. Over this past weekend, the New Jersey chapter of the BGA beat the New York team. And a big shout out to Alex, Steve, Chris, Jay, Kevin, Rich, Rob, Matt, Curran, and myself. 3 days of golf. We left there. We beat the New York team, and we are now the reigning BGA champions.
Did you say Matt Curran?
Congratulations.
Two different names.
Two different people. Two different, totally different people.
I was like, is this gonna be a crossover with my friends?
No.
But do you know a Matt Curran?
I do.
We weren't playing Magic the Gathering. We were playing golf.
That is correct.
He
And,
doesn't play
listen-
Magic. I don't think he even knows what Magic is, but definitely knows football and drinking and lawyer shit. So yeah, he would be more like
He'd
you
probably be a
know.
good golfer.
probably yeah.
Probably. Listen, you win championships with people, and it forms a bond with them. And we are all now bonded, as I'm
Nice.
sure Matt
Good
would
job.
love us all to be.
Some of those
So-
fuckers really would want to be bonded to us. They are a strange group. I will tell you that.
Good shit.
Fairly decent golfers.
Good. I didn't do much myself this summer. Put a new floor in our living room, got a new couch, cleaned out the garage, ran my brother's bachelor party, which was not that exciting.
Whoa,
Sounded
whoa,
cool.
whoa, whoa!
Whoa! Don't fucking gloss
where
over
was
the
it?
headline.
Why
bud.
weren't we invited? What the hell, Nick?
Where was it?
We went to the Poconos. We rented a place for a couple nights and just kind of hung out. Did some paintball for a day.
Okay.
For a few hours, and then just hung out by the lake where the house was right on the lake, and that was kind of what my brother wanted to do. There was like something near the lake or on the lake or something to do like floating down the water. And so we looked at a bunch of options, and that was an easy one. We found a good house finally, cheap, close by where everyone was going to be. So that was kind of how we kind of doing, and did some, what's it called? Hit up one of the casinos at night. What's up?
I have to ask the question now.
Me too.
There are probably very little strip clubs in the Poconos. So do the strippers charge extra to go to the Poconos?
So yeah, I guess they probably do. I don't know. I didn't end up doing.
What do you mean? Wait. What do you mean they probably do? You didn't get strippers?
No, it sounded like they were strippers.
No,
Jesus Christ.
that wasn't it's not my deal with him. So he ended up going to a strip club with a couple people. Half the people went over, half stayed. It wasn't like it was not mandatory. It was kind of like, if someone wanted.
Can I ask a silly question?
Yeah.
Did he puke on a stripper?
No, I don't think so.
Just Tom. Okay, so that's still just Tom. Okay,
I'm
just curious.
Probably
one of the best nights of
Just
my
curious.
life.
Okay,
It was the best. She was the hottest stripper there, and I'm glad I puked on her.
Yeah.
Very, very happy I puked on her.
Somebody come get your friend. He's throwing up back here.
Well, that's probably a story for another day. Otherwise, we're not making our type 45.
That was the whole story. There's no other. He puked on a stripper. There's not much more you can say.
It really isn't the whole story though, because I was having a great conversation with Jasmine, and we were talking away when they called me out because my friend had been throwing up and we had to leave all of a sudden.
And we had to leave.
Jasmine and I were really making a connection.
Yeah, I'm sure you were making that connection, Bill.
You were going to save her.
She was making a connection to your wallet. The only connection that was being made, Bill. The only ones.
Oh, it's okay, buddy.
Let's see. Did you have anything? Did you do anything?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, I went to Ocean City, Maryland, not just for the golf trip. I went prior to the golf trip and thoroughly enjoyed my time getting drunk in the water at Secrets. Highly recommend it for anybody out there. Ocean City, Maryland, during the day, go to Secrets, get drunk in the bay. Very fun.
Drunk in the Bay. There you go.
It's a new Otis Redding song.
That's going to be tough for Otis to pull off, but okay.
Is he dead?
Maybe we'll get Weird Al on that one.
So.
All right. So since I think we should talk about hockey then, right?
Oh, sure.
Sure. So summer edition, since we last started the show. Bill, do you guys Penguins sign any more defensemen?
No. They've really done nothing since the last time we spoke. We've still got the 9 defensemen, and I'm just at this point assuming Ty Smith and P.O. Joseph just really have no shot at all at making this team. It's going to be the other 7 guys that they keep around, unless they do some kind of deal at this point training camp. So quiet on that front. They're still loaded with defensemen. Maybe they've still got something in the works. Who knows? I hope so. Just seems like too many.
You can never have too many.
Did Lou announce anything yet?
Yeah. So Isles. Apparently, we all thought he was going to sign Kadri, but Kadri didn't sign with the Isles, and signed over to Calgary, joining Huberdeau in that kind of like quick how you put it? Not rebuild, but like a quick retooling. Yeah. So I mean, that was that was kind of like a bummer in the sense of like we waited all summer. We thought this guy was going to sign, and he was a pretty big name, and didn't happen. But in the end, I mean, I don't know how they were going to make it work without moving contract, and they clearly couldn't make that happen. And it's probably more to it. Likely numbers weren't right. He probably wanted what he signed for, and Lou was probably playing hardball, and didn't think there was someone else in there that was going to make the move. And well. So no Kadri, but we ended up signing Alexander Romanov, Kiefer Bellows and Noah Dobson to their all to their RFA deals. Romanov, we've already talked about, was we traded for him in the draft, which I think we covered pretty much well before we went for summer break. So nothing new there. That's it. Team's basically the same. The only question mark and really on the roster at this point is 6-7 defensemen. They're going to be likely Sebastian Aho and Robin Salo, because there's nobody else unless Pittsburgh wants to throw one to us for not much or whatever they want. But it doesn't seem like that's where Lou wanted to go. So nothing else. What do you got, Steve? Anything in Devil Land?
Again, like everybody else, I don't even remember where we left off. Obviously, Palat had signed already.
I think it was the day after free agency began.
Yeah, I don't know if the Zaka traded to Boston had happened. The Smith getting traded to Pittsburgh had happened. Outside of Palat and Brendan Smith, there wasn't really any main additions. The other additions were just them re-signing their RFAs, like Bratt and Wood and Tice Thompson and Zetterland, just getting them back into the fold. And after all that, they've only got $73,000 left in cap space this year.
It's a good thing they didn't sign anybody.
So waiting to find out the Bernier going on long-term IR. That's got to happen. That frees up $5 million and change. Trading Andreas Johansson at some point frees up a lot of cap space. And maybe Thomas Tatar, and just make some room for some
deals
kids.
For Tatar, right?
Probably, yeah. Just make some room for some kids to come up and prove their worth. We got to start figuring out what we got in the youth now.
I mean, the Rangers are going to be what they are. They didn't do anything really after Vincent Trocheck. That was the cap space that they had. They did sign their own restricted free agents. Especially Capo Caco a couple weeks after free agency started, but they also brought in Ryan Carpenter, who is going to probably be your defunct fourth line center to replace Rooney, and then you brought a couple of guys on the PTO with Jimmy Vesey and Matt Bartkowski, who I don't even know. It was the first time I knew his name is when I wrote it down today. Jimmy Vesey is very interesting. It's I think for the Rangers, it's going to be, if he makes the team, how do you keep him off the top six and give those kids a chance? Because Vesey's a very defensive style forward. And that's what some of those lines need, like Trocheck and Panarin probably need that more defensive style guy. Although Trocheck, from what I remember, is a pretty defensive guy. Hopefully he's very responsible on his own end. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see what Vesey becomes, if he does become anything. Hopefully he becomes nothing more than a third or fourth line guy who plays the penalty kill. Hopefully that's it. But there are some questions that are centered around, not just the Rangers, but all of our teams. So we're gonna do the top three, questions that we're looking forward to getting answered. And for the Rangers, it's the sixth defenseman spot. Who's going to claim it? Is it going to be Jones? Is it going to be Robertson? They gave Jones the captaincy in the rookie camp that they had last week, and he wore the captaincy for their 2-game exhibition in Philadelphia, which I believe they lost both games. But from what all reports were, this was completely optional for him. He didn't have to go to rookie camp. He could have just gone to the pro camp, which starts to if you're tomorrow, but it's today, Wednesday.
Well, yeah, when you're
Let's just say
listening,
that. Yeah, well, they're listening on Wednesday.
Hopefully.
So I think unless for whatever reason Hayek is still on this team, I don't get. And now that you've traded Nils Lundkvist to Dallas, which what is Kravtsov thinking in all of this? I wanted out a while ago. You made me go back to the KHL. You buried me in Hartford. You did all this shit to me. And now I'm going to get actually a decent shot with the Rangers. But when Kravtsov wanted out, maybe they just couldn't find the deal for him. But
does he not go, wait, I asked first?
Yeah, I mean, you'd have to think, right? But the Lundqvist thing, I mean, they got a pretty decent return for him for just having somebody who wanted out, who really didn't fit with the Rangers. He got a decent chance at the start of last year. He played a lot with that guy that shipped out to Arizona. Oh, I can't even remember his name now. That's how much of an impact he made on the Rangers last year. But I just either Lundqvist wasn't ready, or I don't know. Maybe he just doesn't have the size, the speed of the game. He needed to get adjusted, and that's what a couple of years or even a solid year in Hartford would have done for him. But I don't know if he had a really good opportunity to make this team this year, especially with Jones and Robertson and even Hayek, and also having Trouba and Adam Fox in front of him. So I think Lundqvist was kind of right to kind of want out and get an opportunity somewhere else, and he'll get that in Dallas. And what the Rangers get in return is a lottery protected first round pick. If it's not used next year, it's an unprotected pick in 2024. Along with a 4th round pick. And if Lundqvist scores a certain amount of points within the next 2 years, that 5th becomes a 4th, something like that. So they got a decent return for a player who just wanted to get out, and really they really didn't have a roster spot for. So the whole 6th defenseman spot is going to be really interesting. And right now, you'd have to think it's Jones's spot to lose. And there's a couple of guys who could take it, like I mentioned, Robertson or even Hayek with a great camp. You know, who knows? He's stuck around longer than a lot of people. He's the only piece left that the Rangers got for the trade of Ryan McDonough to Tampa. Lundqvist was a draft pick in that, but now Lundqvist is gone. So Hayek is the only piece of that whole trade package that the Rangers got for McDonough and JT Miller. So maybe they're holding on to him for nostalgia reasons. Who the fuck knows? Then there's the bottom 6, right? So as constructed right now in the depth chart for the Rangers, your top line's looking like Trocheck with Panarin and Kakko. Your second line is going to be Mika with Kreider and Lafreniere. And then your bottom 6 is kind of a mixture of these players, right? You got Hedel, you got Sammy Blais and Kravtsov with Carpenter, Barclay Goudreau, and Ryan Reeves. And then you sprinkle, Gauthier and Dryden Hunt in there. And there's your forwards. There's your top 14 forwards that are going to be on your team. Do you go with that, or does Kravtsov get traded? Does he not make the team? Does he not have a good camp? Do you give people like Brennan Othmann a chance? Will Cooley, who was impressive not only in the World Junior Championships but in with their junior clubs last year. It seems that if your third line was Will Cooley and Othmann and with a Sammy Blais, it could be a very interesting third line, and it's not going to cost you a lot of money. So I'm really interested to see the bottom 6 role for the Rangers when it comes to the forwards. You stick with the current makeup. What's better, the devil you don't know or the devil you know, right? So they know what they have with a lot of these guys. I think the one real big question mark is Kravtsov, and what are you going to get out of him this year? And hope that he has evolved his game in the KHL over the past 2 seasons to the point where he can really make an impact in the NHL this year. Or do you go with all youth and kind of roll the dice there? So the bottom 6 is really going to be a very interesting thing for me. And then there's, for the 5th season now.
This is it. This is the one.
What do you got with Filipino?
This is the year we finally figure it out.
Did he finally fucking make the jump after that amazing playoff run that he had last year, to have the confidence in here and demand and command rather that third line center role? It's Filipino. This is your year, kid. I really honestly think this is his year, because in the next couple of years, the salary cap is not going to be very nice to the New York Rangers, especially in 23 and especially in 24. They're going to be really, really up against it, and having to sign players like Keandre Miller and Alexei Lafreniere, it's going to be very challenging for them to keep a third line center maybe making $2.5 million a year or even higher, because I believe Hedel is he is a restricted free agent after this year with arbitration rights. So do you trade those rights? Does he have the year for him to do that? Lafreniere doesn't have any arbitration rights, nor does Keandre Miller. But do you go with what everybody other team is doing and locking these guys up for maybe more than what they're worth now over a long stretch to get their bottom line down in the future? It's going to be really, really interesting to see. I don't know if they can do that with Miller and Lafreniere unless they let certain pieces go. And if you're going to let certain pieces go, the guys who are making that money, I mean, Reeves comes off the books next year. Hedel could come off the books next year. And then you have a slew of dead cap space with Shattenkirk, D'Angelo, and Girardi's buyouts. That's what, $3.5 million coming off the books for next year. So you're going to have a little bit of money to play with next year with Miller and Lafreniere, but man, oh man, you're going to be up against the cap for the next 2 years, and you're going to have to structure your cap this year at the beginning of the year in order to have that cap space at the trade deadline. So you might not see these younger players come up because maybe they're making $975,000 as opposed to somebody who's making $750,000. So it's really a numbers game, I think, for Drury at the start of the season in order to have the cap space at the deadline to make the moves that he needs to make for this team. And they're not going to be monumental moves. They're not going to be Patrick Kane. I'm sorry to hear that. It breaks my heart to say that, but it's not going to be Patrick Kane this year. They're going to be low-level guys, third and fourth line guys that really are going to solidify that bottom end, that really give you what you need for the playoff push. And, you know, it's going to be a really, really interesting year for the New York Rangers to see if they can kind of at least duplicate what you did this year. If not, take a little step forward, maybe have a little bit better of a regular season. Maybe Lafreniere and Kakko have a better offensive season this year, but the outlook is going to be good for the Rangers this year. We're going to talk about that in certainly in the weeks to come. But those are like my three big questions going into camp, going into the season with the Rangers, and what's going to become of the sixth defenseman spot, the bottom six, and young Philip Hedel is not so young anymore. Nick,
I thought more like 8 or 10 things.
What's that?
Yeah, I was wondering if that was only.
No, that wasn't 8 or 10 things. I held it to my topics. My sixth defenseman spot, I kind of rolled Lundqvist in there because he was a contender for that sixth spot, but they fucking got his ass out of here.
I thought I went into at least 7 or so different like cap issues.
Well, yeah, I think I went off on a little bit of a tangent after Philip Hedel there.
Yeah, no shit.
I thought you were still talking about the summer editions. Honestly, I didn't realize you went right into it. You just kept going.
It was so long.
Well, that's how I listen. I segue. This is why I'm the host.
Okay.
Of the show.
Okay.
This
all
is
right,
why it is my podcast, just
Understood.
featuring you guys, right?
That's true. That's true. So, top 3 questions this year going into the year. So the first question, biggest one, was last year a fluke. 2020 and 2021, or actually 2019, 2020. Those 2 years we went to the conference finals, losing both times to Tampa. And then last year getting hit by, having the 13-game road trip and then, the COVID just decimated the team. Was really really put us behind completely. We lost like 11 games straight in the beginning of the year, basically. Or early in the season, and we're just so far behind that it was just too difficult to even come back from that. I think that's a big question. I think the answer is yes, they can. I don't think that's I don't think the team was able to deal with so much adversity early on. I watched an interview with Barzal the other day, and basically he was saying talked about how that was that exact issue was, he said that the road games were tough, but they actually came out of it okay. It wasn't like, monumentally bad. It was just, it sucks to start on the road. But the COVID completely killed the team because, and then momentum, we had like 7, 8 guys out. And he was saying that basically like, you have that many guys out, you just can't do much about it. You're kind of, there's too much parity in the league. It's just too difficult for them to, for you to really come back from and really compete. And it was rough. And so I think that's the first and foremost. I think the team will, back in the playoffs this year, be a contender.
You're not going to talk about how much Barzal wants to move back to Vancouver? That was also in that interview.
He did not say that. He said he's actually about a little more New Yorker than
51-49 in favor.
Yeah.
I was busting your balls.
Good job. You actually did watch it. You
don't think I keep up on you guys? Come on.
I don't know what you do.
Okay, stop distracting him.
That's what a good host does.
Stop distracting him.
So other than that, the next one is changes to the team based by the coach. Brad Lambert's making he's the coach now. We're seeing what Lambert can do with the team and how much he differs from Trotz and the very, very structured defensive system. I think there'll be some changes in terms of how that the defense looks, or just the forwards are structured, and I think there'll be some more opportunities to score. I think they're going to open it up a little bit. I don't think they're going to be as rigid as it was under Barry Trotz. Not because the team didn't do well there, but because different coach, he sees different things. He's worked with Barry. Probably he's got his own way of thinking about it and making things happen. So I'm hoping to see that. What I'm hoping to see is that basically they give a little more leeway to the forwards and get some scoring, because they can score. But the problem is that it looked really bad when you have nothing, no offense going forward, right? You're just very, very passive, and then getting back immediately as soon as you lose the puck, and it feels shitty. Every game's we have to win by one goal. Can't let anything in. And they have really good goaltending to really bail them out. So why not really take advantage of that? Take advantage of the forward-heavy team we have. And I say it because we have a ton of money tied up in the forwards, and a lot of guys can score. And I think they have the personnel. I think they just got to really, tweak it. Because Barzal had 80 points, 83 points, I think it was, something like that, his rookie year, and he could do that again. But that team was very different because of the way his team was structured and how they were, the system they were running. So you could get a little more flexibility there. I don't think Barzal is going to get 80 points again, but I think he could definitely flirt in the 60 to 70 range if they give him a little more freedom. And he did back checks and doesn't get benched like he did last year a little bit here and there.
You don't think he's going to get up to the same point production that he did in his rookie year? Under a new coach that maybe gives him a little bit more freedom, as well as a contract year?
I hope he does. I don't think I see it happening, but I hope he does. I think he's a very different player in the last couple of years under Trotz, and that's not a bad thing at all. He actually became a much more complete player, but it's just a guy that I don't see it happening with the forwards that that he plays with, unless he clicks with some combination of guys, right? And they really start to make it work, then sure, it's possible. But I mean, 80 points is a lot, man. He's gonna have to really, really push it. So we'll see. Last question is around it's kind of tied to this. It's kind of the core of aging forwards, score goals this year. That was really the problem last year. We couldn't score, and then the defense wasn't working as well as it had previously in the second half of the year, basically when they got their shit together, people weren't sick, but the team just couldn't score goals, and the only person scoring goals is Brock Nelson. And so that's got to change. We need Barzal to get 30 for sure. If he shoots more and he starts to become a weapon with, him by himself, not just, setting guys up, I think he can, really help with his line mates and become more of that dynamic threat we saw when he was a rookie. And then, we need stuff out of Wallstrom, Bellows, Palmieri. We'll see what we can get out of Bailey. Obviously, Beauvillier, we kept him and re-signed him. I didn't mention that, actually. We re-signed Beauvillier, right? Didn't we re-sign him? Am I wrong? I think I'm mix my guys up there.
You resigned Bavilla, yeah.
We did resign Bavilla, yeah.
Yep.
So, those are the guys that we want to they gotta score. They gotta get goals. And that's kind of the big thing. If they start scoring goals, the defense will work. They got the guys. I think it's just a matter of can this group that they've put together and held and brought guys in and enhanced and can they finally put it all together and get a deep run and get past Tampa. But they gotta get back to the playoffs first and get in the door. So it's gonna be really important first 10 games. We'll see what team this team is. If it's back to the drawing board, or if it's if they just got right back on the horse and left last year and behind. So
it's definitely going to be
it's
definitely going to be a very interesting year for the Islanders, and I'm going to tune in to see what's going to become of that team, because I think they're a power play quarterback away from probably being a very dynamic team.
I agree,
in my opinion.
And they have Robin Salo, who could step in that role and really be that guy. I mean, it pains me because I was thinking about this I was like sitting out before a couple hours ago. Like, we really need Devin Taves. This is right now when it really hurts.
You could probably afford him too.
Yeah,
right. Because at the time, that's why he went, because you couldn't afford him.
It's because you couldn't afford him. But he's clearly affordable now. So, anywho,
yeah,
can't make all good trades.
No, you can't. And a team that Bill, the Penguins, they just got to stay healthy, right? That's their key to this season, is staying healthy, because they're going to score the goals. They're gonna Casey the Smith and Jari are going to be pretty good in net, and you got 9 billion defensemen. So as long as the forwards stay healthy, I think you're going to be all right.
I think so. I think I don't see a reason to expect this to be the end of their consecutive playoff run just yet. Although I've always said when it happens, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen hard. The fall's gonna be hard, whenever that happens. But I think for the Penguins, the real questions there. If you know me, I'm going to start with this guy, Evgeny Malkin. That's my number one question, because they did decide to resign, and they resigned everybody basically this past offseason, except for Benny the Jet Rodriguez. But Malkin, they've got him back. Is he going to just be business as usual second line center? I don't think that's working anymore. I know his offensive production is what it is, and it's been good, and that's what they want back. But he's such a liability out there. Are they going to reshape that second line or third line or whatever line they call it that he's on, and get him some help there and try to get improved production when he's on the ice at even strength? So that's question number one to me. Because I don't like him just being slotted in as a second line center anymore. The second question really for the Penguins is around their first pairing defenseman. Letang obviously is still there, but his partner's been Dumoulin for a good many years now, and there's been rumblings that Dumoulin's slowing down a little bit. Veteran defenseman's getting older, getting a bit more susceptible back there, and isn't the shutdown guy that he once was. That's what they're saying. Anyway, I'm actually really not sure. I think he got a little beat up last year, and maybe to your point, maybe health is really the key there, and we'll see if it's really like a chronic thing with him, or if it really is time to move on and try to find somebody else to get onto that number one pairing. I mean, he's still younger than Letang is, but he's playing a different style. Obviously, he's a little more that stay-at-home, hard-nosed guy, and maybe he is wearing down. I don't really see another option right now for that. I mean, Marcus Pettersson, is he ready to go up to the first line? I'm not sure he's ready to stay on the second line. So, I don't really see an option, not a lefty option anyway, that they're really going to think about moving in there next to Letang. They're not going to put Letang and Petry on the same defensive pairing. That's not going to happen. They're going to be split up. So we'll see if there's any plans to move Letang, move anybody else in with Letang, or if it's just going to stay Dumoulin. I don't see much choice there. Then my last question with the Penguins is, since they did keep one of their trade quote unquote rentals last year. They re-signed Ricard Raquel. They're pretty deep on the right wing now with having re-signed Rust and Raquel. Those are your number 1 and 2 lines in some order. I feel almost sure of it. And so my question there is that going to free up Kapanen to really kind of bring more production? They've been expecting a lot more out of Kapanen since they traded to get him back a couple of seasons ago. And he's not delivered first or second line type of production, no matter who they've paired him with or what they've done. And he plays hard enough, but you know they were really expecting more results on the score sheet. So will he kind of embrace a third line role? Will he deliver a little more production from there? I think it's a big question mark season for him to kind of make or break. You know what his function is going to be in this team. So that's my 3 things on the Penguins.
Yeah, listen. I think is Zucker going to be productive this year at all?
Well, if he's playing, the couple of games that he managed to play last season, he actually looked pretty good. He really had some bad luck, or I don't know if he's just super brittle. But he's not been healthy, and there's been rumors that they are trying to move that contract still before the season. I don't know. I don't really honestly know who's going to go out and take it. I mean, does Arizona want anybody again?
Look, Arizona can use anybody they can
Everybody.
get, even with those
You have
shitty
to get something
contracts
back
they've
for it.
acquired. They've acquired shitty contracts. They haven't acquired players that are
Right.
still in those contracts. So I'm sure Arizona can look. Their first line
They have
center is
2,000
Barrett
seats
Hayden.
to fill. They got to get anybody.
Right. But their first line center is Barrett Hayden, who was, I mean, come on. So, yeah, I think the Arizona Coyotes can certainly use players. But another team that has a bunch of questions surrounding them is certainly the New Jersey Devils, especially. God, you got to start in goal, right?
I'm going to start with my honorable mention, top 3 question, which is how will the Mike Mcleod situation affect his standing in the organization? For those of you who don't know, Mike Mcleod was on a Team Canada World Junior team that apparently decided to gang rape a girl. He is one of only 3 players who have not come out to kind of defend his position and or say I wasn't involved in any way. So it's really up in the air. Nobody knows what's going on. If he's going to report, he should report, because he's, claiming innocence until proven guilty, kind of, it seems like. So that's my honorable mention. As far as the other 3, you were dead on. Number 1 is goaltending. Is it Blackwood? Is it Vanacek? Is it some combination of the 2? Or is it neither? If the team gets average goaltending out of those 2, they're going to be competitive into March. They're going to be playing meaningful games down the end of the season, which is all anybody's expecting this year.
Your captain on a competitive podcast went out on a limb and said Blackwood is going to have a great season.
Well, that's what a captain should do, right? Captain should try and squash any questions.
No doubt. And listen, I got to give it to him. He was very professional in that 32 Thoughts interview that they had with him.
Yeah.
And, he said he sat down with Blackwood during the course of the year and they had conversations that they're going to keep private. I mean, he said and did all of the right things as a good captain should.
Which is great, because it's nice to, a lot of his personality is, lead by example, right? But it's nice to see he's also doing the little things in the locker room that a captain should do.
Yeah.
Question number 2 is, can we finally prove that Mark Recchi was the power play, the issue with the power play all along? A power play with Wood on the crease and Brad on the wing and Palat and or Mercer or Sharangovich and Hughes and Hamilton, there's no reason why they should be as bad as they were last year.
That's like 8 players. How are you going to do that on the power play?
Well, they're small. They hide behind each other. Now I don't you know it's going to be Hughes, it's going to be Brett, it's going to be Wood in front of the crease, it's going to be Hamilton is going to be the only defenseman, and then you're just going to cycle in the rest of the players.
What's the number one power play?
Well,
Is it
that's
Heischer, Bratt with probably Palat now and Hughes and Hamilton at the point?
I would rather have Wood instead of Heischer on the crease. I don't want Heischer in a position where he's going to be in the middle, in the shooting lane and get a puck deflected into his head like he did 2 seasons
but now
ago.
you got Heischer on a second power play unit with Palat,
Mercer,
and Sharon Govich.
Holtz, if he makes the team.
Hmm.
Setting up in that Ovechkin spot, that's where he loves to set up. That's his bread and butter. And then Severson as the lone defenseman on that line, on that power play. So can he come up with a system better than Recki's, which shouldn't be that tough? And then my third question is what everybody wants to know, which is if Hughes can stay healthy for a whole season, what's his production going to look like? Can he produce at the pace he was producing at last season and stay healthy for a whole year? And prove that he's the superstar that Devils fans believe he is.
That
And then
is certainly the question.
And then make Tom look like an asshole for saying that contract wasn't deserved.
Right, just like Tim Stutzel deserved fucking $8 million a year too. I'm not saying Jack Hughes is not going to be that player, but I just don't think he is now. I just don't think he's that player right now because he can't stay on the ice. And that's the only reason why.
So we're going to find out this year if he is.
We most certainly are. So look, training camp's open tomorrow for the Rangers, I think Thursday for Penguins, and some mixture of that.
Tomorrow's media and off ice, and then on ice on Thursday.
Right, and we actually may have a game to talk about next week. Does the Monday night game? Preseason, I think Rangers,
yes.
Islanders.
Devils have a Monday night game as well. Canadians, I believe.
I think Rangers Islanders Monday night. I have to go and check.
And the Devils play the Canadians. Yes.
Who cares? No one cares about the Devils, Steve. Is that in New Jersey or is that in Montreal?
Why did you said you don't care? So fuck off.
Good. I don't care. Good. I don't care. So a lot of storylines going on. Certainly as camps open, we'll have preseason games to talk about next week, and we'll get into the teams and where they fit, and what our predictions are going to be for the season. We'll do all that in the coming weeks leading up to opening night in the NHL in middle of October. So we are certainly back. And you know what else is back?
For the first time in season 3, it's Trivia with Bill. Ugh.
Now this is the wrong Bill.
Oh, I love it. The enthusiasm. Okay. Who?
Wait, can I ask a
is
question?
this-
Are we still in the book? You still in
Yeah.
the book for season 3?
Yeah.
How many questions have you got?
It's a new season.
It's
Change it up.
82. No, I'm only on question 82, and then when we get to 100, I got to flip back to the start because I didn't have the book at the beginning.
God.
Right, we
Oh,
got like
talk about
40 weeks
lack
of
of show
questions to get through.
Wow.
We're gonna pretty much. I think we're gonna get through most of the season. at this point.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Okay. Who is the Stanley Cup named after?
I got it.
Who-
I got it.
Lord, I don't know.
Yeah, Stanley
Fred
from the
Stanley.
Stanley
not-
Steamer.
No, not Craig Stanley. That's a no, not the Stanley Steamer. That's some kind of carpet cleaner or some shit.
Oh, I love
Paul
Steamer.
Stanley.
Oh, from Kiss. How awesome would that be? But no, it's
We're
it's older than
back!
Paul from-
Nick, I don't think yours got heard enough.
Wow, Rocket.
Stanley from The Office.
Yes,
Obviously.
exactly.
Oh,
That
Clearly.
was such a good
Negatory.
one that
That
it
was
should have
good.
been heard again.
I can't even think of anybody named Stanley, to be honest.
Wasn't there a Yankee catcher named Stanley?
Mike Stanley.
Well,
Mike
why
Stanley.
would they
Stanley?
wouldn't name it after a Yankee catcher though, would they? So
Yeah,
why are
of
trying to
course
think
they
of-
would. What are you talking about? There was baseball back in the 1800s. Mike Stanley's bloodline goes back. I don't know any other Stanleys. I'm out
So you
of
want me to go
Stanleys.
to the multiple choice?
Not yet.
No. Hold
I
on.
don't
Hold
think
on.
we're
I
there
got
yet.
one. I got one. Hold on. I gotta find his fucking name though.
The multiple
Is it-
choices is very creative.
I got it.
D is none of the above.
Is it Cooper Cup? It's named after
No.
Cooper Cup.
Oh, you're going for the cup.
Going for Cup.
Oh,
No, is
wait.
it?
As opposed to the
So
Stanley.
I know it's old, right? The Stanley Cup is old.
Yes.
So is it Stan Laurel?
No. It's not.
Is it
Is that he's an
Is it-
old comedian?
No. We
is
got
it named after Stan Lee?
Oh,
that guy's old. That guy was old. No, it was not after Stan Lee. The Marvel.
Was it Abraham Lincoln?
I didn't say hey Blinken. I said hey Blinken. No.
Is it? Wait, I think I no. Is it Stanley Kubrick?
No.
Stanley Tucci.
Stanley's eyes were wide open. No, not Stanley Tucci.
Damn it. Maybe I did know another Stanley. What are the multiple choices there, Bill?
You'll love these. Okay. A. Lord Stanley of Preston. B. The Stanley Hotel in Estes Park, Colorado.
Oh,
Or
that's
C.
it. Fuck.
Port
Obviously.
Stanley, Ontario.
Nah, there's no need to go any further.
Ooh.
It was B, the Stanley Hotel in Colorado. Oh, what a place. Have you ever been?
Oh my God, what's D?
Oh my God.
D. Oh, I'm sorry. D was none of the above. None of them.
Yeah. Wow, none of the above.
They couldn't think of a fourth Stanley.
They
either.
couldn't.
Throw
They,
it.
they wanted to put Stanley from The Office in there,
Cheap
but
ass
they
book.
didn't.
What a stupid book. How did
Oh,
they
God.
fucking find a motel that had Stan in it? It's terrible.
The guy writing this question couldn't find any people.
Do you
named
think that
Stanley.
motel was named after the guy that named after the Stanley Cup too?
Oh, natural. Assume
Oh,
so.
shit.
What else could it be? There's no other Stanleys.
What was A? Little Lord
Lord
Fauntleroy? What was
Stanley
it?
of Preston?
How did Ray all of a sudden get involved in this?
I know, right?
Yeah, right.
Incredible.
Was it Lord Farquaad?
No, that wasn't
I'm
one of
going
the
D.
choices.
I'm going D.
I'm going
No,
B.
it's not D.
I'm going B.
Anytime they put
It's
none
not
of the
a
above
hotel,
in
no,
there,
it's not B.
that's always the answer.
What do you mean it's not B?
It's not B. It's not the
Jesus.
Stanley Hotel.
Not the Super 8. Come on.
Well, we've said B and we've said D, so come on, Nick,
A.
bring it home.
A.
Hey, there you go. It's
Nick
A.
gets the
Lord
first
Stanley
win of
of
season
Lord
3.
Stanley of Preston. Way to
Which
go,
is
Ray.
awesome,
Stanley Cup's named
because that's a
after-
great lead-in to Impressions with Nick.
Fucking great.
Now listen, we have somebody on the line. And this
No.
person answered an ad that we put out on Twitter,
No,
the Friends of
no.
Rivals podcast.
We did
Put this
no,
out
the
here
marketing
looking-
department.
Well, look, yeah, the marketing department looked
No.
for a new host to report on the New Jersey Devils, and here he is now. Call. Are you there?
Hey guys, you can hear me? You hear me okay? This is Carl Sylvester. You guys hear me all right?
There you
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, hey guys. Hey, I got a lead from my buddy Randy. There's an opening on this podcast. You guys need a Devils a podcast guy. I'm your guy. I wanted to talk to you guys and see if you had an opening.
So what makes you think that you're qualified to talk about New Jersey Devils hockey?
Fuck is going
Oh, it's
on?
great. Yeah. So, I used to party with some of the current Devils. I did some babysitting for the Hughes brothers a little bit, Jack and Luke, they're little guys. I made it past their mom last time though, so I don't think they're going to talk to me right now. I've been in a few scraps in my day. I can hold my own in case we get into a bar fight. Now, I don't know if you guys have an enforcer already, but I got this great takedown move. I just kick guys in the back of the leg, and it works real well. They never see it coming.
Call it the PK.
What
I
else?
think.
What else? I used to work with Patrick Eliash. We'll work with him as a loose term. I worked at a place where he gets sandwiches in the morning, before games, Hannah's Deli on Park Street right behind the Rock. You get a pork roll and cheese on it, everything bagel, salt, pepper, ketchup.
I don't think
swore.
Patrick Eliash would eat that.
he swore it made him better. Hey, that's what he ate every time.
Do you think you'd be able to get any of those people to come on the podcast if you were a host?
Well, potentially. I am from Toronto, so I thought I know a lot of hockey players. I see them around town. When I go back home, most of those guys are AHL guys. But they might have know some friends that bang some hockey players.
Carl.
So they could be on here.
I don't like Carl.
Yeah, I don't know. I also play a lot of Chell. You guys play Chell? I absolutely kill it in the GM mode. My handle on Xbox is Devil Sleuth 76. You guys want to?
Excuse me. What do you play?
Chell.
Chell.
Sorry.
Is Chell.
NHL. NHL.
Yeah, it's Chell,
Sorry,
man. You don't know?
I don't know if this guy really knows what his hockey, man. He doesn't know what Chell is. That's not good.
Listen, he's just our friend.
Sorry, Carl.
Well, I'm sorry. Sorry. I don't know. This guy who's on the phone. This guy sounds weird. Is he the guy I'm replacing?
Yeah, we're actually recording right now. He's the current host.
Sorry.
Co-host.
Sorry, dude. I don't know what to tell you, man.
Carl, you're from Toronto?
That's right, sir.
And you want to be the Devils reporter for this podcast?
I spent a lot of time in New Jersey, man. I'm pretty good. I know what I'm talking about.
Where did you spend a lot of time?
In Newark.
Well, can I ask you a question? How old are you? How old are you?
I'm 33, man. I've been around for a bit, so. Yeah. I just lost my last job, so I'm trying to find some work here. So
Yeah. What did you do?
Anything you guys got?
What did you do prior to?
Were you the groundskeeper at Bushwood?
No, I got a job. I was shepherding some skates, at the Rock, but I stole a few too many skates, so I got in trouble. Had to leave. It wouldn't let me back.
Wait a second. Did you ever get accused for slew footing?
I don't know what you're talking about, man. I don't know what that means, but it's not my gig. It's not my thing, man. But it sounds kind of cool though. I'm not gonna.
Wait a minute. Are you PK Subban? Are you trying to get a gig now since you couldn't get a job in the NHL?
My name's Carl. I don't know what you guys are talking about. I gotta go. I'll see you later.
I think I'm gonna switch up the intros. I think Nick's gonna get the yuck from now on, and Bill will get the excitement.
I threw in as many hints there.
Here's what I love the most. When he starts the segment out, for some reason his one eye is squinty and his other eye is wide open. He looks like Popeye for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe he needed it to get the impression in or what. But
I don't know. I try it. My voice changed with my eyes moving.
Yeah,
it's like the same muscle, I guess. Apparently,
I think Tom hit it right on the head. That was PK. He's got a lot of free time on his hands now.
A lot of free time. Xbox handle Devil's Sleuth 76.
Oh, this is quality.
Gave it right away.
Well, I thought it was the Jets quarterback at the beginning when he started talking about the Hughes' mom.
Good
that's why I went there first.
Zach Wilson.
Yeah.
I gotta make it a little fun. Can't be super.
He's got a lot. He's had a lot of free time on his hands lately too.
Yeah, he has. So I throw a little red herring in there. Gotta make sure not just.
Well, listen, with the comeback against the Browns, he might have a little bit more time to just sit and relax.
Elite Joe Flacco.
2-0 Giants, baby.
We're not getting off track.
How have they been? All right, let's go to new sponsor alert. Let's go to this date and Steve's stomach, brought to you by Coca-Cola. Or is it Coke? Is it Coke? Oh, we have to say Coca-Cola Zero Sugar.
Yes.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
That's
sorry,
the sponsor.
Coca-Cola Zero Sugar.
Right here, we're saving calories. Round here, we all look so lean. Round here, we enjoy Coke Zero, but sacrifice flavor, no. Round here, Coke Zero's the way to go.
All right, go to the year of our Lord 2019 and go to May 6th. May 6th, 2019.
May 6th. I'm sorry, May 6th, 2019. May
Yes,
6th.
it's after April.
It was a Monday.
Ooh,
For breakfast, I had a Coca-Cola Zero
no shit.
and some toast.
Were you sick?
No, it was going to
Plain
be a big
toast, a
day.
little butter?
It's going to be a big day because on May the 6th, 2019, I drove to the big city, New York City, with Tina and a couple friends. We had lunch at 5 Napkin Burger, where I had a delicious bacon cheeseburger, French fries, and a diet soda.
Wait, what
And then
diet
we-
soda did you have?
If I put diet soda, that means Pepsi.
Ah,
That means the establishment served Pepsi.
gotcha.
They don't get their brand.
Don't listen, sponsors.
Sorry,
They don't get their
Coca-Cola
brand
Zero
name
Sugar.
in my. They don't get their brand name in my journal. And then we enjoyed a wonderful concert by Lovely the Band. We did not have dinner that day. That 5 Napkin Burger was our lunch dinner, our dinner, shall we call it, or dunch, if you so choose.
Nobody chooses that ever. Either one of those.
That's what
Not
we
even
did.
Billy.
I have like 18 meals a day. I don't call any of them.
Why did you pick May 6th, 2019?
Because that was the day, of course,
What
That-
pool inflatable got fucked that day?
that Jolie Leppard of South Carolina got arrested for
Boy.
sucking on girls' toes.
Oh boy.
Oh,
Like,
yes. Oh, it's
Did-
true.
Didn't
Now he takes his foot fetishes
Unwanted?
a little too far. He says
You
that
think?
he says that he approaches women in public places like fast food restaurants, gas stations, and Walmart.
Well,
Yeah. He
okay.
then asks to kiss their feet or suck on their toes. If he has money, he will offer to pay them for the privilege. If the woman says no, he just moves on. However, this isn't exactly true because he has been known to employ a few tricks to get some toes in his mouth.
Wow.
please tell me that some of these tricks are listed in this article you are reading from because I need to know them.
You know what? I think I'm gonna do you one better.
Oh, is there? I
think I'm
hope
gonna
there is a
do you
visual
one-
aid.
Oh no, I'm gonna do you one triple better.
Oh boy.
Oh boy,
Oh.
Tom Harkis has started sharing his screen.
Bill,
we go.
read it, please. Can you pause that so Bill can read?
Program contains
In my
materials that
sexy
may be
voice.
disturbing to some viewers. Certain names and location have been changed to protect the innocent.
Oh boy.
I thought I was supposed with feet. I like feet.
Sorry to bother you, ma'am.
He's sick. This guy's dangerous. I like feet, women's toes.
Wait, that was him?
That is him.
The real him?
Like any
That's
other man,
Joey.
they like breasts or butt. You know, I like feet.
Love it. Toes.
A lot of people say, how can you just approach people and just ask them that? Didn't you have any morals?
You got some pretty feet on there.
I said, yeah, but it's just something I like to do. It's like a challenge. It's adrenaline.
I don't think it's weird at all. I just like feet.
Okay.
It only take a second.
I get more adrenaline when they say, yeah, you can do it.
I love this guy.
Thank you. I think.
Look at that.
Once Joey Leapart gets permission for an innocent kiss, he feels a compulsion to take it further.
Okay.
I suck their toes, whatever. It's in my mind. What they smell like, taste like, they look like, you know.
Oh,
Me too.
You're about a size 7.5.
Oh, here it is.
this guy's
Since I
size
was
queen.
5 years old. I just started liking feet, you know. I was little. The girls, my sister friends, they was, you know, had pretty little feet, and I just liked to paint their toenails, rub lotion on their feet. They thought I was like a sissy, you know, because I wanted to play with the girls, but really all I wanted to do was paint their toenails.
How'd they get Patton Oswalt to do this dramatization?
Oh, this is terrible. A foot book? Oh.
Sometimes he just asks women if he can take a picture of their feet. He spends countless hours carefully compiling them into his foot book.
He had a book that thick of pictures. I mean, just picture after picture. There'd be 8 pictures on the page of his face next to women's feet.
But Joey's ultimate goal is to get his mouth around a woman's toes.
Isn't that everybody's?
His favorite hunting grounds are big box stores.
Yeah,
where he
notice
knows he can find
the
women
store
alone.
name was not evident.
I'm going to Walmart
He came
tomorrow.
up to me, was kind of sweaty and jittery.
She looked at me and I looked at her and I just said, you know, what the heck, I'm gonna ask her to see if she'll let me do it.
I'm sorry to bother you. I got a question for you. I've been trying to...
He said, have you ever heard of America's Funniest Home Videos? And I was like, yeah, of course. And he said, well, this might sound kind of crazy, but can I get a picture of your feet?
Like how? Like this?
Yeah, exactly.
He took the picture of my feet.
Oh, that's a good one. Would you mind maybe if I took a picture kissing your foot?
And then he said, well, can I actually kiss your foot? It's, you know, it's just a joke, you know.
I guess so, yeah. That's okay.
And that's the only thing I agreed to.
Guess so?
What the fuck?
And then before I knew it, I looked down and he'd grabbed my foot and shoved it right in his mouth.
Hey! Stop!
I was like, you need to go. You need to stop.
Weirdo!
I kissed her foot 2 or 3 times. I got in the left, went out the store.
Tom, are you
That's when he
taking
made
notes?
that little nasty comment, something like it tasted good.
She has some delicious tasting feet.
Oh my god.
Tom's in the
Like, I was
bathroom
just so
finishing
grossed
himself
out. I
off right
felt
now.
violated. I kept thinking to myself, like, I'm so gullible. Why did I fall for something like that? I wasn't really
She's gotten
scared
the
until
tip a
I
time or
googled
two,
a
I'm
foot
sure.
fetish, Augusta, Georgia,
Dad?
and Joey Leapart's face popped up. I just freaked out, and then I started reading everything.
he
and
could
it
be going to
said
the
sex
Masters
offender,
instead he's
all this
sucking
other
from-
stuff. And that's why I was like, whoa, this is a lot more serious.
I want to file a report.
But Jessica and her dad, Keith, are shocked to learn there's nothing police can do.
Because my daughter had actually, in a roundabout way, given consent for him to touch her, the guy didn't step over the line legally. He knew exactly what he was doing.
My daughter was violated recently.
It's an MO that has worked for more than 20 years.
She didn't let me do it. All she had to say was no, but she didn't.
He's sick.
He's not wrong.
I'm not a psychologist. I don't need to be to understand that this guy's dangerous.
Keith wants to be sure what happened to his daughter doesn't happen to someone else. He's going to expose Joey for what he is and goes to the media.
All right,
It's
we're
like
watching the
turning
whole
on a
show.
light and watching the cockroaches run.
Got 2 minutes left.
The South Carolina toe sucker, Joey Leapart, has just assaulted 18-year-old Jessica Finley. Her father goes to the media to expose him. News reports about the sex offender with a bizarre foot fetish make Joey instantly recognizable in this community.
I could just walk in the store and if some of the women, they'd just see me, see there he is, and they'll get on their cell phone and start calling the police.
He's all over the news. Everybody knows who he is. They're like, hey, look out for Joey.
You know what that means? Time to move.
Yeah, but
But
we're going to
Carol
find another
Owens
Walmart.
never imagined that she would become one of Joey's victims.
And as I pulled through the checkout, I pushed the cart up and I get on my tiptoes.
And that's all
He just took his gum out of his mouth, and as she was raised up on her toes, reaching into her shopping cart, he placed the gum where he knew her foot would come down on it.
Ew.
And then I felt something warm
Now
between
that's gross.
the bottom of my flip-flop and the bottom of my foot. And I turned around to see who it was and what it was, and it was Joey. And he's just smiling at me.
It just fell out of my mouth.
Are you kidding me?
I was in line to pay for my drink. I dropped my gun by accident.
Can I have it back?
I said, no, you don't need your gum. You need to back away from me because I'm calling the police now.
This guy just touched me.
Because Joey actually touched Carol's leg, police are able to pin an assault charge on him.
I ended up doing 52 days in jail. And like I said, where I'm from, just people don't like me because they know that I like women's feet. I don't feel I'm a criminal, but a lot of people think I am.
I see him as a criminal because he does this over and over. When you assault someone, that to me is criminal action.
At 45 years old, Joey admits that it's getting harder for him to operate here.
My reputation's ruined, but really, I don't think it's really harmful if I ask you, and I'll say 1,000 times, if you let me do it, that's on you.
Unbelievable. Joey.
Tom is in his glory.
Seriously, this is like a prequel to the eventual downfall of Tommy Harkness.
What, for going to Walmart and touching girls' feet?
Yeah. Just shoving them in your mouth into.
I only want to touch one woman's feet, and that's my wife's.
We were so close to 45 minutes. And then we had to watch a 10-minute fucking dissertation on foot licking.
It's toe sucking, first off. Okay, so get it right. So wait, did you like the pool floaty humper better, or did you like?
Yeah, without a doubt, that was much better than this fucking sicko pervert.
Floaty guy was better.
Like the pool floaty humper, yeah.
Yeah, he was.
Put gum on someone's flip flop. You should get 52 days in jail.
Well, people think he's a criminal, but he's not.
I mean, I asked her if it was okay.
That's right. But it just goes to show you can get girls to do anything that you want.
Yeah, all you got to do is say it's for
America's
Funniest
Funniest
Home
Home
Videos.
That's all you got to say. America's Funniest Home Videos. Take off your pants. And they'll do it.
Wow.
Wonder what Randy Travis the turd could talk those girls
No, we
into.
don't. No, we don't wonder at
I don't
all.
know.
Nope. Nope.
You got to find out.
Nope.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for us.
wild.
It was a great season 3 premiere. Don't forget to follow us on the Twitter at friends_rivals and on the Facebook, right? We have Facebook. Friends and Rivals on the Facebook.
Sure.
Oh, I didn't check the reviews. We haven't been on in 6 weeks, so I really don't think anybody's going to give us a review. But you never know. Nope. Nope. Don't think so. Nope.
If we don't get a review after the foot sucking episode, I don't know when we'll get a review.
Oh my God. I hope we do. But go on, leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. We read them on the air if you want us to. Turn on notifications for our podcast so you never miss an episode of the Friends and Rivals podcast. Billy, say something witty.
It's season 3, but it's a new beginning in more ways than one. This is our first episode of the reign of King Charles III. Long live the king.
Just sing us out.
Oh, my friends and rivals. Flyers fun, flyers fun.